Chapter 10. Come, you will see my soul. It was on the 9th of November, the evening before his 38th birthday, as he often remembered afterwards. He was walking home about 11 o'clock from Lord Henry's. At the corner of the street a man passed him, walking very fast, and with the collar of his grey coat turned up. He had a bag in his hand. Dorian recognized him. It was Basil Hallward. A strange sense of fear came over him. He went on quickly in the direction of his own house, but Hallward saw him and then hurried after him. In a few moments his hand was on Dorian's arm. "Dorian, what an extraordinary piece of luck! I have been waiting for you since 9 o'clock. Finally I took pity on your tired servant and told him to go to bed, as he let me out. I am off to Paris by the midnight train, and I wanted to see you before I left. I thought it was you as you passed me, but I wasn't quite sure. Didn't you recognize me?" "In this fog, my dear Basil, I can't even recognize the street. I believe my house is somewhere about here, but I'm not sure. I am sorry you are going away, but I suppose you will be back soon." "No, I am going to be out of England for 6 months. I want to take a studio in Paris and shut myself up till I have finished a great picture I have in my head. However, it wasn't about myself I wanted to talk. Let me come in for a moment. I have something to say to you." "I'll be very happy, but won't you miss your train?" said Dorian Gray, and opened the door. Hallward looked at his watch. "I have a lot of time," he answered. "In fact, I was on my way to the club to look for you when I met you. All I have with me is this bag, and I can easily get to Victoria in 20 minutes. Dorian looked at him and smiled. "What a way for a fashionable painter to travel! Come in, or the fog will get into the house. And mind you don't talk about anything serious. Nothing is serious nowadays. At least nothing should be." Hallward shook his head as he entered, and followed Dorian into the library. There was a bright wood fire burning. The lamps were lit, and on the small, elegant table there were glasses and soda water. "You see, your servant made me quite at home, Dorian. He gave me everything I wanted, including your best cigarettes. He is a most hospitable creature. I like him much better than the Frenchman you used to have. What has become of the Frenchman, by the way?" "He got married and left for Paris, but he was not at all a bad servant. He was really very devoted to me and seemed quite sorry when he went away. Have another brandy and soda?" "Thanks, I won't have anything more," said the painter, taking his coat off. "And now I want to speak to you seriously. Don't look at me like that. You make it so much more difficult for me." "What is it all about?" cried Dorian. "I hope it is not about myself. I am tired of myself tonight. I should like to be somebody else." "It is about yourself," answered Hallward in his deep voice, "and I must say it to you. I shall only keep you half an hour. It is for your own sake that I am speaking. I think it right that you should know that the most dreadful things are being said against you in London." "I don't wish to know anything about them. I love scandals about other people, but scandals about myself don't interest me. They have not got the charm of novelty." "They must interest you, Dorian. Every gentleman is interested in his good name. Of course, you have your position and your wealth, but position and wealth are not everything. Mind you, I don't believe these stories at all. At least, I can't believe them when I see you. Sin is a thing that writes itself across a man's face. It cannot be hidden. It shows itself in the lines of his mouth, his eyes, even his hands. But you, Dorian, with your bright innocent face, and your wonderful untroubled youth, I can't believe anything against you. And yet I see you very seldom, and you never come down to the studio now, And when I am away from you, and I hear all these terrible things about you, I don't know what to say. Why is it, Dorian, that the Duke of Berwick leaves the room when you enter it? Why is it that so many gentlemen in London don't come to your house, and don't invite you to theirs? You used to be a friend of Lord Staveley. I met him at dinner last week. When he heard your name, he said that you were a man whom no girl should be allowed to know. I reminded him that I was a friend of yours, and asked him what he meant. He told me. He told me right out before everybody. It was horrible. Why is your friendship so fatal to young men? There was that poor boy who killed himself. You were his great friend. There was Sir Henry Ashton who had to leave England. You and he were friends too. What about Adrian Singleton and his dreadful end? What about Lord Kent's only son and his career? I met his father yesterday. He seemed broken with shame. What about the young Duke of Perth? What sort of life has he got now? Stop, Basil. You are talking about things of which you know nothing, said Dorian Gray, biting his lip. You ask me why Berwick leaves a room when I enter it. It is because I know everything about his life, not because he knows anything about mine. If Kent's silly son takes his wife from the streets, what is that to me? If Adrian Singleton writes his friend's name across a bill, is it my fault? Dorian, cried Hallward, that is not the question. England is bad enough, I know, and English society is all wrong. That is the reason why I want you to be fine. You have not been fine. One has a right to judge of a man by the effect he has over his friends. You have filled them with a madness for pleasure. They have gone down into the depths. You led them there. Yes, and yet you can smile, as you are smiling now. And there is worse behind. I know you and Harry are friends. Surely for that reason, you should not have made his sister's name a byword. Take care, Basil, you go too far. I must speak, and you must listen. Is there a woman in London now who would drive with her in the park? Then there are other stories. Stories that you have been seen visiting dreadful London houses. Are the stories true? When I first heard them, I laughed. What about your country house and the life that is led there? Dorian, you don't know what is said about you. Dorian, I love you, and I want you to lead such a life as will make the world respect you. I want you to have a clean name. I want you to get rid of the dreadful people. Don't look at me like that. They say that you corrupt everyone with whom you become friends. I don't know whether it is so or not. How should I know? But it is said of you. Do I know you? I wonder, do I know you? Before I could answer that, I should have to see your soul. To see my soul, quietly said Dorian Gray, standing up from the sofa and turning white from fear. Yes, answered Hallward, to see your soul, but only God can do that. A laugh came from the lips of the younger man. You shall see it yourself tonight, he cried, taking a lamp from the table. Come, it is your own work. Why shouldn't you look at it? You can tell the world all about it afterwards if you choose. Nobody would believe you. If they believed you, they would like me all the better for it. Come, you will see my soul. There was the madness in every word he said. This is impossible, Dorian, Hallward cried. You must not say things like that. They are horrible, and they don't mean anything. You think so? He laughed again. I know so. As for what I said to you tonight, I said it for your good. You know I have been always a friend to you. Pain shot across the painter's face. He paused for a moment, and a wild feeling of pity came over him. After all, what right had he to enter the life of Dorian Gray? "I am waiting, Basil," said the young man, in a hard, clear voice. "What I have to say is this," Basil cried. "You must give me some answer to these horrible charges that are made against you. If you tell me that they are absolutely untrue, from beginning to end, I shall believe you. Deny them, Dorian, deny them. My God, don't tell me that you are bad and corrupt and shameful." Dorian Gray smiled. "Come upstairs, Basil," he said quietly. "I keep a diary of my life from day to day, and it never leaves the room in which it is written. I shall show it to you if you come with me." "I shall come with you, Dorian, if you wish it. I see I have missed my train. That makes no matter. I can go tomorrow. But don't ask me to read anything tonight. All I want is a true answer to my question."